We need to talk about a battle that's happening right now, a battle that's going to define the next 100 years of tech, of economics, and of power for an entire continent. The big question is this: who gets to own, control, and, profit from Africa's data? This is a fight for digital sovereignty, and trust me, the outcome is going to shape the future of AI for all of us. The stakes, they really couldn't be higher. Let's break it down.
To really get a grip on this, you have to start with this one number: less than 4%. That's it. That is the tiny, tiny fraction of data used to train our big global AI models that actually comes from Africa. Now, this isn't just some small oversight. It's a huge, gaping hole that's creating a totally distorted digital version of our world.
And this quote from Eric Wamugu at Code for Africa reframes the entire problem. See, the data gap isn't just about fairness or bias. It's about a mind-blowing missed economic opportunity. We are talking about a potential 32-1 return on investment. That's just being left on the table.
So this all leads us to the core issue, a concept that some people are starting to call digital colonialism. When an entire continent is basically shut out of the global data economy, it's not just missing out on profits. It's losing control over its own digital identity, its own future.
And the consequences are very, very real. We're seeing AI models trained on data from the Northern Hemisphere that just completely fail when trying to predict climate events in Africa. Hundreds of local languages, these incredibly vibrant parts of human culture, are basically invisible online. And, maybe most critically, sensitive personal data often gets shipped overseas, where it has none of the local protections it should. These are serious problems, and they need a solution. And on the continent, two totally different schools of thought are emerging on how to fix this.
All right, so solution number one. This approach treats data like a precious collective resource, something that has to be protected. This is what we'll call the gatekeeper model. It's a centralized system, and it's designed specifically to prevent exploitation and make sure data is used for the common good. And a perfect real-world example of this is the H3 Africa Consortium. This initiative is managing access to a massive and frankly priceless database of African genomic data. Think of it like a Fort Knox for genetic information. You can't just walk in and take whatever you want. So, who holds the keys to this Fort Knox? Well, it's a group called the Data and Biospecimen Access Committee. And as you can see, it's not just one person calling the shots. It's a whole team of experts: scientists, ethicists, legal minds, even a patient advocate. The idea is to have a group of trusted guardians making these big decisions for everyone. Of course, this centralization comes with its own risks, right? You're putting an immense amount of trust in a small group to always be unbiased and act in everyone's best interest. And their process is exactly what you'd expect from a gatekeeper. It's formal, it's structured, it's deliberate. You submit a request, it gets screened, the committee of experts reviews it, and then they make a decision. It's a top-down model built on professional oversight, and it's designed to be slow and careful for very good reason to prevent misuse. Okay, so that is the gatekeeper model in a nutshell. Centralized, driven by a committee, and focused on protecting a collective resource. But what if we just flip that whole philosophy completely on its head? Now, let's look at a totally different path, one that doesn't start with the committee, but with the individual. This second solution is the Decentralized Health Intelligence Network, or DHIN. And it starts from a really radical idea. Your data is not a collective resource that needs to be guarded by other people. No, it is your personal property. You are the sovereign owner. And the technology that makes this whole thing possible is called self-sovereign server technology. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a digital vault or a personal safe deposit box that lives right on your phone. It holds your most sensitive health data, and you and only you have the key.
This diagram shows you the core interaction. It's all about cutting out the middleman. You've got a doctor on the left, a patient on the right, and they connect directly, securely, using something that's basically like a super secure digital passport that only you control. This peer-to-peer connection means there's no giant central database holding everyone's information, which makes the whole system more private and way more secure.
Okay, now let's zoom out and look at the entire ecosystem. Right there in the center, you see the individual's personal health record, or PHR. This thing holds their digital wallet for payments, their personal database, everything. All the other players, the doctors, pharmacies, even AI systems, they all revolve around the individual. They can't get to the data without asking for permission directly from the person who owns it. The person is always the hub. But here is where this model gets truly revolutionary. It doesn't just give you control. It creates a system where you can get directly paid for contributing your data. It flips the script, turning your data from something you have to protect into an asset that can actually work for you.
This slide shows that whole economic loop in action. So over on the left, you've got a medical AI device. It needs data to get smarter. Through a secure gateway, it asks for access from a patient's personal health record. The rules of that access, like how much it costs and for how long, are all handled by a smart contract. Think of it like a digital agreement that executes itself. When the patient hits approve, the AI gets temporary, privacy-safe access, and boom, a payment is automatically sent right to the patient's wallet.
So let's just break down that cycle. First, and this is key, you choose to opt in. Second, the AI developers pay to learn from your data. They do this using a really cool technique called federated learning. The easiest way to think about it is instead of your data going to the AI model comes to your device to learn locally. Your raw data never leaves your control. Third, you get paid instantly, thanks to that smart contract. And over time, all those little micropayments can add up, creating a whole new, self-sustaining healthcare economy.
So we have these two powerful, compelling, and completely different visions for the future of Africa's data. One is a fortress with expert guardians, the other is a marketplace full of sovereign individuals. And this isn't just a technical debate anymore, it's a philosophical one. It's about power, and it's about trust.
Let's just put these two philosophies right next to each other. The Guardian model, H3 Africa, it fundamentally trusts an expert committee. It protects data as a shared asset. The Sovereign model, DHIN, it trusts the individual. It empowers you with your data as your own personal property. One is centralized authority, the other is decentralized.
And that brings us to the final question, really the one that matters most. When it comes to our most personal, most valuable information, who should be in control? A carefully selected group of experts, with all the efficiencies and all the risks that come with centralization? Or ourselves, with all the freedom and all the responsibility that individual ownership demands? The answer to that is going to shape Africa's digital future.